Hey guys, this is 012 Boku coming at you with another movie review, and I'm continuing the James Bond series of this moment today. And as you can see, yeah, the man with the golden gun. Now this is a great film, and it's a very fun, well-made film, and what can I say? It's full of promise, full of greatness. It's a very entertaining film. The film is well known for what it can do. It's got a great villain. Once again, not probably the biggest earth-shattering story because it's more about one man's greed and another man to kill another. Basically, vis-a-vis in this case, James Bond and Francisco Scaramanga. And this one is the second one that Roger Moore did. The one that they said that the one that after this one, Lewis Gilbert goes with the two films he does after this, where they made Bond too serious, making him like Sean Connery. Which Lewis Gilbert, you made two really good films, but I really, really don't agree with you on that one fully. But hey, that's what you do. And for the most part, you got a great movie out of this. And like I say, you have Roger Moore returning as James Bond. He seems more comfortable in the role. He seems to have a lot of fun with this one. He had a great working relationship with all the other actors involved, especially Christopher Lee, who plays Scaramanga, and he seemed to enjoy what the film did. He loved his work with Guy Hamilton, the director, and very cool stuff that comes along with it. And Roger Moore, had some great stuff, in his interactions with Scaramanga, Christopher Lee, just mwah, good stuff. So Roger Moore, hats off to you, dude, for giving a great performance, a very good performance in this movie, The Man with the Golden Gun. I truly think this one, and when we get into it more, like I think I mentioned before, View to a Kill are your two greatest ones. I mean, you overall the films you did were great, but I think those two are your best. Just like I think with Connery, his two best were From Russia with Love and You Only Live Twice. But once again, that is me. So you also have, like I said, Scaramanga, played by Christopher Lee, who, if you guys know Christopher Lee, has done Dracula and the Hammer films, Count. Oh God, Count. Oh no, not Count. Lord Summerisle. Lord Summerisle from The Wicker Man, one of his other well-known drama horror film pictures from the 1970s, and Wicker Tree. If you have the prequel, or I want to say other telling sequels similar to The Wicker Man, but different. I think that's what it is. Wicker Tree is like a similar but yet different telling of the same story, where he has a good short role cameo in it. Was like a teacher for Graham McTavish, who was the one doing the stuff on his island this time. And he was Christopher Lee played his tutor in that one, but we'll get into that when we get to the horror section of our films. And let's see, he played in, Colonel von Kreisman in 1941, Saruman in The Lord of the Rings saga, if you guys, probably know that, probably one of the ones he's most famous for. He's cameoed in various, Tim Burton movies. Last one, right after his death, was Alice in Wonderland. He was the voice of the Jabberwocky. Christopher Lee's done a lot. His film role is extensive. I could go over a lot of it, but I really don't want to at the time. But, Christopher Lee has done a lot, and you guys probably can know. Oh, yeah, and probably another big notable one, Count Dooku and the prequel Star Wars films. But, yeah, as Scaramanga, and right in his early 50s, I think he was 52 when he did this film. He's a very, very good-looking, attractive assassination Bond villain, and that's how this starts out. And I don't know if he's on the back. Well, yeah. I'll try to show you guys. Right there, if you guys see him, because I know the sun's sort of right there. But yeah, that's him right there with the golden gun. Uh, he's right there trying to shoot at James Bond at some point in the movie. And Scaramanga is one of the world's top assassins. He had the golden gun specially made for him because he liked feeling rich and he could afford it over time with his contracts because he wanted a special way to kill his targets, and he's always charged $1 million a shot for the kill because of how good he is. And so over time, when he did his kills, he got so good at them. He commissioned a gunman in China to make him a golden gun, and he gets like golden gun with gold bullets. So yeah, you could say it's fanciful, it's good, but Scaramanga says later on in the film actually to Bond, hey, I live really well because at $1 million per kill, I can afford to. And, it's very true. And, Christopher Lee has everything. He's suave, sophisticated, good looking. Like I said, he's 52 years old when he does this movie, but you couldn't really tell. Like, he looks like he's like late 30s, early 40s in this film. I mean, he's really a good looking guy, and he really kept his looks practically really almost to the end of his life. Because, like, even if you guys look at him in, the Star Wars prequels or Scaramanga, you can sort of see where he still has a good look to him. Or if you've seen any of his special features, he really still looks good. And, it wasn't only till I think he reached, like, I'm going to say when he reached 90s, because I think he was, like, 90, anywhere between 92 to 94 when he died. So, like, into his 90s is where he finally looked like he started to age. But, the guy really held on to his looks for many, many years. And, so not only has that, and, he has some great lines as the villain in this movie. And as Bond's assassin, like, there's a point where Bond tries to go after Scaramanga at the end of the movie because there's a lot of other things involved. And here's a quick spoiler. So yeah, if you don't want to be there, don't be there. But the spoiler is not only is he an assassin, there's another man who's named High Fat in this movie who is trying to work with Scaramanga to throw Bond and the world governments off his trail because he's trying to have sole control of a world energy crisis, where he's wanting to have sole control of it, to where High Fat will get paid a lot of money, and he has this thing called the solar agitator, which controls the sun's power to use as a weapon or to be used as a controlling thing for the world's energy. And sorry, Die Another Day and Lee Tamahori, you thought you had that original part? Nope, that was originally Man with the Golden Gun. So ha ha ha. Sorry, I mean I like Die Another Day too, but it's like Lee Tamahori. I'm gonna sort of say this now, Lee Tamahori, you're a bit of an idiot, but respect. But that's just me. Um, and let's see here. Oh yes, there's also like good lines where when you see Oh yeah. So I was explaining that, but like what happens is Scaramanga actually kills High Fat in the film, takes control of the solar agitator, and he becomes the sole proprietor of possibly solving the world's energy. But at the same time, he also kidnaps Bond's constituent and associate, Mary Goodnight, fellow agent, and he forces Bond to come to an island to find him. And when Bond gets there, they get there, and Scaramanga, after some small talk and civility, because Scaramanga says he and James Bond are the same. So Francisco Scaramanga is saying, to us, we're the best, the same at what we do. And, there's a point where they actually have a standoff right at dinner, and, Bond goes, I'm not like you, Scaramanga. I kill because it's based on the point of my government. I don't do what you do. And, Scaramanga, like, I think he even said it beforehand, too, before Bond said that. He's like, we're both killers. We both enjoy killing. You get as much enjoyment out of it as, what I do. And, they both say, I could kill you, Scaramanga. Well, I could have killed you when you entered here, but that would have been ridiculously easy. And it's like this great tension, great lines between Roger Moore, uh, Christopher Lee. They really make Scaramanga and Bond be like this good versus evil version of each other, even further than what we've seen from like Donald Grant, Dr. Kananga, and all the other villains prior to this moment. Which is why I really love Scaramanga, because I think that came off the best more than anybody else. Donald Grant is a very, very close second. You also have, let's see here, continuing on. Yeah, I just mentioned her, Mary Goodnight. Mary Goodnight is the fellow agent in this film, played by Britt Eklund. Britt Eklund definitely has the attraction appeal. She's a good actress. I will say this: she's also in The Wicker Man. If you've seen The Wicker Man, she's a good actress. But in this film, it's more like she's there for the sex appeal and for a part of a woman that Bond missed. Because Bond usually likes to have every woman, it almost seems. But for some reason, he misses out on Mary Goodnight. And Goodnight takes a note of this, and she spends this whole film trying to have a love relationship with James Bond, but it doesn't happen. Stuff keeps getting in the way, and she gets a little jealous of that. But the thing is, too, Mary Goodnight, her character is really a ditz. So Britt Eklund plays this character ditzy, like the dumb blonde. Mary Goodnight isn't all there. She does help Bond in the end of the film, but yeah, she's more of a ditzy character, and there really isn't that much to say because it's sort of like, Goodnight's there to support Bond. That's pretty much what the lead female role is in this film, is like a support role. You also have, let's see, Bond veteran in Maud Adams, because Maud Adams plays Andrea, and let's see, I think I'll show you really quick, because I think we both have Andrea and we have Britt Eklund. So yeah, there we go, because I forgot I could try, probably should have show you guys. Yeah, there's Britt Eklund, who played Mary Goodnight, and that with Roger Moore, James Bond, is Maud Adams, Andrea. Which you really don't get to hear him say the name Andrea till like near the end of the film. But Andrea was a person that Bond uses to track down Francisco Scaramanga, because Andrea is, I guess, the mistress of Scaramanga, but I guess for a time she enjoyed being with him, but I guess as it went on, the love between them fell out, even though she was forcibly loving him, and he thought, maybe we have something together, but, she wanted to get free. So basically, in a way, Andrea was a prisoner, and what happens is you have, Andrea, who actually gets cornered by James Bond, and James Bond actually forces Andrea to work for him, and so Andrea works with Bond. She tries her best to get the solar agitator from Scaramanga, and there actually comes a part to where Andrea helps him out, but she also goes to Bond and says, no, I know you're making me help you, but the reason I want your help is I want you to kill Scaramanga. I'm not happy with him. I want to get out. I need you to help kill him. So she comes back, and to the chagrin of Goodnight, gets in Goodnight's way to have sex with Bond, and then Bond and Andrea actually have sex that night too. But you also learn from Andrea that there was a part in the film in the beginning where Scaramanga sends a golden bullet engraved with the 007 on it, and you find out that wasn't Scaramanga challenging Bond at all. It was actually Andrea who sent the bullet. Now, I know that could have been a bit of a spoiler, but I mean, it's not that really imperative to the film, so I don't think that's like a huge spoiler. So, sorry if you thought it was, but this part will be. So spoiler here. Like, Andrea is like a good ally to Bond towards the middle of the film. But what happens near the middle part of the film is that when Bond's looking to collect the solar agitator, he goes to meet Andrea, and Andrea's just sort of sitting there staring off into space. But when he meets her, and before he finds solar agitator, before a whole bunch of bad stuff happens to Bond, the first bad thing that happens to him is he actually looks down, and at some point during because they were at a Japanese kickboxing event which was actually a real live show in the movie too. So they were actually at a legit kickboxing event and filming around it. So that was cool. But what? Sorry for that little side tangent. But what Bond finds out as he looks down is Andrea was actually shot in the chest from the other side of the arena by Scaramanga, and Scaramanga comes over to do his introduction to Bond, and so good scene, but it does suck what happens to Andrea. Uh, Maud Adams will return for Octopussy and apparently for View to a Kill. She makes a cameo in View to a Kill, but she will be back in Octopussy. One of the few times that a female has reprised the role for, for a Bond film. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, minus Sylvia Trench, because I forgot. Eunice Gayson as Sylvia Trench is also in From Russia with Love, so I forgot. They bring her back too, and Moneypenny too. Also Lois Maxwell's Moneypenny. How dare I forget Lois Maxwell? Bad, bad, bad. Or Moneypenny in general as a character. Let's see. We have yes. If you guys know Fantasy Island and the little guy who plays Tattoo, then that's cool because I sort of know that from that. But also, this guy plays Knick Knack. He's a little man French painter named Hervé Villechaize, who's a French painter that they said turned actor for this movie before he went on to do Fantasy Island. And he played Knick Knack, who is a partner of Francisco Scaramanga. But what I can say about Knick Knack is he's sort of like the little pest, no pun intended, that gets in Bond's way, that gets in other people's ways to foil their plans and stop Scaramanga. And there's also a part where in Scaramanga's island hideout, Knick Knack built this fun house for Scaramanga to use, and Scaramanga also uses this fun house to kill his victims. But I think this was more Knick Knack's idea because Knick Knack uses the fun house to screw not only with Scaramanga's opponents but Scaramanga as well, because in many ways Knick Knack wants everything Scaramanga has and control of his own stuff, the money, the power. So Knick Knack is sort of like a little fledgling usurper, but he and Scaramanga make a game out of it. And Hervé Villechaize, has a lot of fun with the role. He's great for comedy in this film, and at the end of the movie, with him, and it's great stuff. So Hervé Villechaize has a great role in this film. Which let's see here. Oh yes. Also for this movie we have for this movie here, because if I haven't shown the cover enough, I apologize. We have Clifton James is Sheriff J.W. Pepper, who I believe I may have mentioned who's in Live and Let Die. If I didn't, I apologize about that. But he was also in Live and Let Die, so another returning character. But they get Sheriff J.W. Pepper on a vacation in this movie, and he actually goes on vacation to where he actually runs into Bond while in it's China where this is supposed to be taking place. So he runs into Bond in China, and he sees how Bond is doing his work, and he just gets in Bond's business and goes with him on a chase through the Chinese the city of Hong Kong to get with Scaramanga. And Sheriff J.W. Pepper is full of clumsiness, laughs, just trying to be a friend of Bond. And Bond's like, "What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here, but hey, I'll just bring you along because I've got to stop Scaramanga, so I don't really have a choice." So it's really fun to see what Bond does in this film, and it's really, really good stuff. I mean, you can't hate it or whatnot. So Clifton James does a great job with that as well. Let's see. There's a few others. Oh yes, we have Lieutenant Hip, Lieutenant Hip. Sorry, I said that a little loud. Lieutenant Hip, who is played by Crud. I just had it here. Soon Takio plays Hip, who is a partner with Bond, who is a lieutenant for the Chinese police force, and he helps Bond throughout the movie, trying to get the solar agitator from Hypat, and Scaramanga, is there to get Bond out of trouble when Scaramanga fails in killing Bond. Uh, he's there to provide support. So, pretty cool small character, and he has a nice martial arts fight scenes with two of his cousins who all three of them are classically trained in karate and martial arts. So they have a nice scene together, taking out some of High Fat's daddies at a karate school. You also have the same guy, High Fat, who is played by Richard Liu, who is a veteran Chinese actor who I think they said this was Richard Liu's last film before he died. Sadly, I think again it was cancer, but he played the villainous High Fat who was trying to use the solar agitator to force his business to make money and to use it as a weapon. And he was using Scaramanga to kill who he needed to keep this going and to pay him his $1,000,000 a shot so we can keep any officials away from him and to keep James Bond away from him. Sort of like a slimy businessman Richard Liu plays. And here's another spoiler coming soon. Basically, like I said earlier as well, when High Fat is getting worried, Scaramanga actually comes in, and Scaramanga says, "What do you want me to do?" And he's like, "I want you to take," and High Fat's like, "I want you to take the solar agitator there, hide it with you, keep it on your island, because I've got to disappear for a while, because, Bond's never truly seen you, he doesn't know your face, but he knows my face, and that's the problem." And at the meanwhile, you have Scaramanga taking all his writing tools, cigarette case, and lighter. He actually uses that to transform into the Golden Gun, which is actually a piece to build, which was cool for us moviegoers, but Christopher Lee hated building the Golden Gun, I should say. And what happens is once Scaramanga builds it, he uses it to shoot High Fat in the chest and to kill him. And, he takes Solar Agitator to take over the business. So that's basically what happens to High Fat and why Scaramanga is the more important villain in the movie. Then you also have another actor making a repeat appearance from the earlier film in Diamonds Are Forever, where he just played a mafia boss. But you have Rodney. I know it's not Rodney Mack because it's his character's name is Rodney, just Rodney. That's all we know. But he's played by Mark Lawrence, who's playing another mafia hitman who I guess they had dealings with Scaramanga, and Rodney wanted his money from Scaramanga, and I guess you have what is it? Oh yeah, Knick-Knack and Scaramanga paid him half the money he needed, but I guess what he was there was not only to collect the money, he was going to try to assassinate Pride because of his business partners going to assassinate Scaramanga. So, he tries to kill Scaramanga, fails in that attempt, but then it leads to them having a bit of a fight in the Scaramanga's funhouse, where Scaramanga gets the one up on Rodney, and that's basically how the intro for the movie starts. So Rodney has a pretty good, cool short role. Then you also have, and then you have the other characters who return, such as Bernard Lee. Bernard Lee is M. Lois Maxwell is Moneypenny. You have Desmond Llewellyn is Q. Then you got a few other characters who keep returning, and it's very cool to see and do. And let's see, oh yes, you have Tom Mankiewicz and Richard Maybaum provide the story. Like I said, you can tell from me, the story is actually very simple, but the rivalry that both Maybaum and Mankiewicz write for this film is very well done between Scaramanga and Bond. It's it's very very great, the rivalry, the big stuff, and it was actually Christopher Lee's idea to play the character more like the dark side of Bond, because in the book, which Christopher Lee and Ian Fleming are actually cousins, Christopher Lee had insight on the book, and he found out that, Ian Fleming wrote him like a thug, and Christopher Lee didn't want to play him like that, so he played him like the dark side of Bond, so he played that off in the script as well. And, how Tom Mankiewicz and Richard Maybaum made this rivalry was bar none, just really well. So really good rivalry in this film. And Guy Hamilton, the director, what can I say? Guy Hamilton is just really great in this movie, entertaining. Great director, really knows what he's doing. I wish he made more after this, but this was his last film. But so altogether, Goldfinger, uh, Diamonds Are Forever, Live and Let Die, and Man with the Golden Gun. Four really, really good films, and I think this one was his best because he really had. It seems like a lot of fun doing this. He loved doing the story, working with Roger Moore again, and I mean, I gotta give credit to Guy Hamilton. He really knew what he was doing for this film, and it's a great film, and just overall good stuff. Great action, great sequences. The car chase and the car flip in this movie is one of the widely best known stunts regarded in the 007 James Bond series. Great characters, great fun, just good stuff, guys. And overall, what do you guys think? Do you guys like Man with the Golden Gun? Because personally, I give this film a 10 out of 10. I mean, it's a great film. It's good stuff. I can't say much more about it without like really going into it big time and being like, hey, like super nerd. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys like it? Did you guys think it was a good film? Once again, have you guys even seen with the Man with the Golden Gun? Because if you haven't, I strongly would. It's a great film. And, leave a comment below, like I said, because of all the stuff that's been going on with YouTube. Comment, thumbs up, do what you can to, keep boosting any of the YouTubers' channels, whether it's lowly old me or any of the popular guys. Just keep YouTube going the way that it should be. An enterprise for anyone to do, whether we get paid or not, just for fun. Let's get things going with that too. Sorry for the plug there, but yeah. I mean, I know how stuff's been going with YouTube. It seems like with my stuff, not a lot of my stuff gets, put out there for people to do, even though I do watch my own stuff too. But it's like, seem to only get like a handful of views. But I know my stuff is also not the most entertaining to watch. But hey, other than that, sorry for going on the tangent. But, let me know what you think. And until then, this is 012 Boku, coming at you with the movie review here on Man with the Golden Gun. And I'll talk to you guys again later, alright? See ya.